Do you want to migrate to New Zealand? I'm sure you know about New Zealand, and if you don't know about New Zealand, they are very friendly people and accommodating. And New Zealand is a developed country. It is a twin sister to Australia. Many New Zealanders are in Australia, and some Australians are in New Zealand. Okay? So I want to use this opportunity today to tell you that New Zealand is a very beautiful country. The people of New Zealand are friendly people. The Kiwis, have you heard of the Kiwis? Different pathways in which you can migrate to New Zealand. Another thing I want to say in this video is that migrating to New Zealand is far easier than migrating to Australia. Sometimes many people use New Zealand as a pathway to entering Australia. However, New Zealand on its own is a very beautiful country. There is job availability, beautiful environment, multicultural nation, and very accommodating. So if you plan to japa or to migrate and you don't know about New Zealand, I think you are missing something. There have been so many demand, people asking me to tell them more about New Zealand. They don't have much information about migrating to New Zealand. So I said today, let me use this opportunity to tell you ways in which you can move to New Zealand. Okay? So if this sounds like something you want to hear, please sit back and let's dig in. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Jenkenny's Creation, where we keep it real. Okay? Thank you for my subscribers, you guys rock. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel and become a member of this beautiful community where we keep it real. And please do like my video. Let's dig in. Talk about New Zealand. What do you know about New Zealand? Recently, so many people are getting jobs offer from New Zealand. Do you know that? People from Africa and Asia, so it doesn't matter where you are, you can get a job and migrate to New Zealand. However, I want to share many ways in which you can migrate to New Zealand, and I want to show you where to get information, and also if you want to apply for these visas, how you would do your application. You may not need an agent to apply for your visa. As long as you have gathered all the required documents, all you need is to apply. Everything is in black and white in this website, and I'm going to show you everything like the way we do it in this channel. Okay? All right. There are so many ways to migrate to New Zealand. You can migrate to New Zealand as a visitor. That is a temporal basis. You can also move to New Zealand as a worker, okay, through temporary resident or straight to permanent resident. Yes, you can just get a visa today and be moving to New Zealand as a permanent resident. Another way, you can move to New Zealand to join your family members, your partner, your parents, and so on. You can also go and do investment in New Zealand, depending on how much is in your pocket. Yes. There is also a pathway for you to retire in New Zealand if you have enough money for retirement, okay? And also, you can migrate to New Zealand when you have a special talent. There are temporary visas, there are permanent visas. Another important pathway I want to tell you about is migrating with student visa. New Zealand also has postgraduate work visa, so that after studying, you'll be able to secure a job and settle. All right, let me take you one by one through all the pathways you can migrate to New Zealand and show you how to do it. Let's go. Welcome to New Zealand migration website. This is a one-stop shop for everything migration New Zealand, okay? So we go to the list of visas. See all the visas I've mentioned. We will take them one by one. Number one in the list is visas that allow you visit New Zealand. All right, let's go with this. When you click on it, it will give you all the information you need. Types of visa, okay? Apparently, there are a list of countries that can easily visit New Zealand without applying for visa. These countries are allowed to apply for waiver, okay? So they go with electronic authorization to travel. These are the list of the countries, but I won't take them one by one. All I know is that I don't think there is any African country in that list. You know, if you are from Australia, you do not need any visa at all or even a waiver to go to New Zealand. Likewise, if you are a New Zealander, you do not need any visa to go to Australia. However, if you are not from any of this country, just hit visitor visa and you will see apply online. I just want to tell you today that many people have migrated to New Zealand without using an agent. You can do it yourself. Everything you need is in this website. With New Zealand visitors visa, you can stay up to 9 months in New Zealand. And the processing time for this visa is 44 days. And this visa will cost you $211 New Zealand dollars to acquire. With this visa, you can visit family and friends and go for tourism, and you can study for up to 3 months. Another pathway to migrate to New Zealand is through study visa. Okay? So, if you go through study visa, you are supposed to get admission from any of New Zealand universities and colleges. With student visa, you can stay up to 4 years in New Zealand, depending on the course duration. That is the course you are studying in New Zealand. And the processing time for this visa is just 50 days. The cost for this visa is 375 New Zealand dollars. Okay? With this visa, you can bring your partner and your children over to New Zealand. With New Zealand student visa, you can work up to 20 hours per fortnight. And English requirements, I know most of you will want to know. So, New Zealand government has said that your ability to speak or write English is not a requirement for student visa application. Check with your education provider to see if it is required for an offer of place on a course, okay? This means that if a school does not require English to give you admission, then you do not need English for your visa application. They do not require English for New Zealand student visa application. Please copy that, okay? And if you want to apply for student visa, just hit this button. Apply online. Boom, you apply, okay? These are the requirements. Another visa we want to talk about is a visa that allows you to work and live in New Zealand, okay? They are categorized into two: straight to resident visa or work to resident visa. Straight to resident visa means that you can get permanent resident from your home country or from outside of New Zealand, that is offshore applicants. You come in as a permanent resident. And work to resident visa means that you work for 2 years in New Zealand as a temporary resident, then you apply for permanent resident. However, there is requirement. For you to apply for straight to resident visa, you must have tier 1 occupation in green list. Green list is area of critical shortage. The occupation that are in critical shortage in New Zealand, it is called green list, okay? If your occupation is there and is on tier 1, it means that you can apply straight to resident visa. However, if you are in tier 2, you can apply for work to resident visa. That is how it goes. I will drop a link to the green list, that is critical shortage list, or rather skilled occupation list in New Zealand, in the description section, and the link of everything I have mentioned in this visa. Okay, for work to resident visa, you just have to work for 2 years before you are qualified to apply for residency. Another pathway is care workforce to residency. Working in this occupation for 24 months, that is 2 years, you'll be qualified for residency. This occupation includes something like aged care, disability workers, nurses, and so on. Another pathway is skilled migration, which is point tested like that of Australia. Here, you are required to have up to 118 points. Then you do expression of interest on this page, okay? So the point is given according to certain elements. For example, your number of years of experience, your qualification, your age, the job you got in New Zealand, and so on. Another visa is a visa that allows you to join your family in New Zealand. Yes, New Zealand has family visa, whereby if you have a family member, your partner, your children are residents of New Zealand, you can apply. Even people on student visa, people on visitors visa, people on temporary visa, you can apply to join your family member in New Zealand. Another visa is business visa. This visa you can retire. If you have certain amount, yes, that's big money, you will apply to retire in New Zealand if you have children or child living or is a resident in New Zealand as well. There is certain amount, 500,000 to live on. You have such money. And if you have money also to open a business, entrepreneur resident visa as well. Your business is moving over to New Zealand or you want to establish business, and also global impact visa as well. Then temporary retirement visa as well. That's when the money is smaller or rather lower. There are so many visa involved here, but this involve a lot of money. Also, there are visas that come up from time to time in New Zealand, depending on what is happening on ground. For example, you have seasonal work visas, and currently there is recovery visa for the recent cyclone. Okay, so if you want to move to New Zealand, just stick to their website. You will never go wrong. Now you know how to migrate to New Zealand. Which option do you want to take? Which route do you want to take? Okay, stay glued to my channel because we will talk more about all the pathways. Okay, all right, that brings us to the end of this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Please do like my video, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.